bitch. So I'm not going to cliffhanger you. Look. So when this girl sends me this text, I'm kind of tripping because it's like, we've never even talked about how I want to already fuck your man. And now you telling me your man and you want to fuck me. And I'm just kind of like, can't even handle that information. And so she was saying that I was really hot and that she thinks I look good. And she said, she mentioned something about my hair. I think at the time I had a black lace front and I was rocking that shit for the gods. But around the time when they called me for this threesome situation, that lace front was beat down, okay? That shit was bankrupt, bitch, okay? I couldn't even wear that bitch with a cap on and the bang out, okay? It was bad. It looked bad. And so I was like, I just changed my hair, PS, because I think she was like saying that like we look similar. But the reality is we did not look similar. I just had a wig that looked like her hair and we was both light skinned. Like that's just all it was. So she said something like, oh, let me go and check with him, like on some shit like if I didn't have the same look as her, that he wouldn't be attracted to me or some shit. Like that's what the vibe was. And I was kind of like, okay. And then she was like, oh, she's like, your hair still looks cool, like no worries. And I was like what? So I low key was feeling waves about that. Like that low key was like playing through my mind even when we had the threesome. Cause I was like, oh, like are you trying to play black hair, bitch? Like are you trying to play my hair? Are you trying to play me? Why? And I think at the time I had my red Marley twist. I think I had my red Marley twist and my side shaved, and my shit was looking fucking delish. Okay, so that's why I was also kind of like, fuck you, bitch. Like my shit looks fine. But anyways, and I think that was a sidebar. Another reason why I didn't really fucking like her, because she was a OD like white assimilating ass like brown woman who was Mexican, and she would steady be like, oh, like people try to speak to me in Spanish, and I'm like, I'm a white girl, and like her family was just hella like white assimilated, like her stepdad was white, like all this shit. So and like even he spoke about that shit to me at some point. It was like, oh, you know, she's just, you know, her family like wanted her to like not to speak Spanish. Like her family is the reason why she's so white assimilated, and it's like weird, but like she's dating you and you are seemingly like kind of woke, kind of aware. So it's kind of like, what are you doing as her partner? Like, do you secretly want to be with a white bitch and you'll just settle for a thick ass like brown bitch? Like what's good? You know what I mean? So that's like, that was the other thing playing in the background of my mind, is that there was some color structedness happening over here and some hair texture fetishizing or some shit. But at the end of the day, I wanted to see what the dick was like. So that's where I was coming from. She comes over with him and he's looking really cute. She's looking okay, but he's looking like really fine. I was like, okay, girl, you know? And she's already drunk boots. And I'm kind of like, girl, how are you already drunk? And like, we haven't even talked about what the fuck we was trying to be doing over here. Like, I just felt like it was kind of unprofessional. But I was like, anyways. And so we start making out, her and I. And then he's rubbing on us and rubbing on me and her. And then me and him start making out, and she's rubbing on both of us, and I'm rubbing on him like shit. So I'm like, yes, finally, my time. And so, you know, from there, he goes to grab some condoms, and I'm like, ooh, magnums, girl, yes. And he takes out his little dude, and I was like, it was looking delicious. I was loving that shit. My God, it was looking good, girl. Visually appeasing. Visually appetizing. Visually appealing. I was like, hold on, bitch. What did you just say? So anyways, I'm looking at this dick and I'm loving it. He puts out these condoms and she's over here hating. She's like, oh, I thought we were going to fuck first. And then she looks at me and she goes, we don't use condoms. And in my head, I'm like, y'all stupid. Because I'm just like, girl, like, you're OD young, like, to me not using condoms with this nigga. Like, what the fuck? So anyways, so she's fucking this nigga and I'm rubbing on both of them. And I'm just like, yes. I'm like, fuck her, blah, 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 blah. And right when she's like about to come, like, she's like, oh my God. She's like, my nose ring. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so she pauses the whole shit just to go find this nose ring. And she can't find it, and he's helping her find it, but then he gives up, and the whole time I'm just sitting there on my phone like, Bark. I'm not featuring this shit. I did the polite thing. I looked around me, but I just felt like we wasn't gonna find it. It was too dark, and I couldn't turn on any lights because I have roommates, and it would have woke up the whole fucking house. Because we lived in a glass ass apartment. It was stupid. It was a stupid layout. Because basically, if you awake and downstairs, you gonna fuck up everybody hustle upstairs trying to sleep. So he ends up going to the bathroom, and she gets up, puts on some clothes, and goes outside and smokes a cigarette. And I'm just sitting there in my room kind of like, well. You know, what the fuck is this? And I'm feeling kind of fucked up because I'm just like, damn, like, over her nose ring, bitch, really? So I'm trying to be cool, and she comes back in, and I'm just kicking it. And she doesn't say anything to me. She just goes on her phone like I'm doing, and she's sitting on the bed. And then he comes out the bathroom and takes some shit. Like, I don't even know. He takes something out of his pocket, and he, like, goes, ugh. And she's like, what? And he goes, I still haven't came. And he's like, and I don't want to be annoying, so I'm about to just go finish myself off in the bathroom. And I was like, well, I haven't come yet either, honestly. And she was like, why didn't you just say you didn't come and that you want to come? And, like, she starts, like, fighting with him, basically. And I was like, ooh, shit. And she's like, if you want to keep fucking, like, we could all keep fucking. It's not a big deal. And, like, she started, like, trying to make it seem like he's wilding and being crazy. And in ways I don't disagree that, like, it was annoying of him to be like, oh, I haven't come yet. But it's like, it was true. Shit, it was real. But low key, if you're in a relationship, like, you do that shit in private. Like, don't do that shit in front of me because I'm about to be extra. And I was like, I haven't come yet either, P.S. And she's like, well, if you guys want to keep fucking, like, I want to keep fucking too. And we were like, okay. So we all get back to it, and he puts on a condom, and we start fucking, and she's rubbing on me, and I'm rubbing on her and him as I'm fucking him. But then at one point, like, I take my hands off of her, and I'm just, like, holding on for dear life, because that dick was everything, okay? That dick was throwing a bitch, okay? And I was loving it, and I was feeling everything, bitch. I was going crazy. Oh my God, I know I was turning out. I was loving it. And in the middle of us fucking, you know, I come, and then she, like, is trying to make out with me hella hard, and then me and her are making out, and then he's like, he takes off the condom and starts fucking her again, and I'm just like loving everything. Everything's cool. And so we all come basically at the end. We all end up coming, and it was all great, right? But after that, we all went to go lay down, and when I laid down, I said to her, do you want to lay in the middle? And she must have not heard me or ignored me. I don't know. But he ended up laying in the middle between us. And bitch, like, literally, I'm laying down, and, like, I'm feeling good, but could have felt better. Could have felt a little bit better, honestly. So I'm laying there just, you know, chilling, maxing out, and he puts his hands on my thigh. And I look over, and I notice he has his hand on her thighs, too. And then she rolls over, and then he's just, like, rubbing on her side or whatever. And, you know, he starts venturing down to Pussy Town, okay? He's all up in my clam house, bitch. And I'm like, oh! I don't say nothing. I didn't make the noise, but I was like, liking it on the low. And so I'm feeling like it's equal because he rubbing on me, rubbing on her. Bitch, why out of nowhere, like, he started, like, going hard, like, fingering the fuck out of me, like, fucking my clit, and I was like, like, vibrating, wilding. And she, like, hops up, like, sits up and looks over, and he snatched his hand so fast off my pussy, bitch. I was like, I felt like he stole something out my pussy. I was like, give it back. What the fuck you just take? It was that quick. And so from there, you know, she was mad. She was mad as fuck. Like, she got out the bed, and, like, she went to the bathroom and was in there for a second, and then he hopped up, went to the bathroom, and they started having a conversation, and it just kind of went from, like, 0 to fucking 100. Like, out of nowhere, they're bringing up old shit. Like, he's like, you fuck my best friends. And she's like, what? Like, how dare you bring that up right now? He goes, you fuck both of my best friends. Like, oh my God, like, what's wrong with you? Like, they started bringing up all this shit. Bitch, you know my black ass. I had to go outside and smoke me a fucking cigarette, bitch. I went right outside, and I was just like, okay, just trying to get my life. He comes outside trying to talk to me like, I'm sorry, like, she's just really fucked up, you know, like, she just doesn't know how to, like, be cool and all this shit. And I was like, honestly, y'all both in the wrong. Because I will not disagree that, you know, she had every right to be feeling some type of way. Because I think for her, she's like, the threesome is over. Like, we're all in this bed, but it's over. For me, I was ready to roll again. And for him, he was clearly ready to roll again. But I think she felt some type of way about him touching on me when I think she thought it was over. I think she thought that she was about to get all the love and I was just going to be laying on the side. I don't know what the fuck she might have been thinking, but it wasn't that way. And so, you know, they start having like a straight up beef, like a straight up like yelling. She started attacking him, started hitting him and shit, popped him in his fucking head. And I was like, yo, and like, yo, of course, like, I don't even know. I feel like I told y'all this already, but in this situation in Colorado, I was living with a dude that I had fucked before, that we became roommates. Like, we started out as OkCupid matches and then ended up being roommates that didn't even really fucking like each other. But at this point, we were still playing like we didn't hate each other, but we really wasn't featuring each other. But he comes home with this drunk ass white bitch, and he is just gagging and laughing at me because he is just like, bitch. Because like, he, you know, I run upstairs to go tell Audrey like I'm sorry, and Audrey's just like, bitch. And Jason just in his room, and he's like, what happened? And I was like, what do you think happened? I was like, I tried to have my cake and eat it too, and it was not going to work. And he's dying, and I'm just honestly kind of angry that he's laughing, because it's like, it is a ratchet mess. Like, these two folks is really going at it downstairs. And at one point, my roommate is just like, girl, like, you need to get them to be quiet, or I'm going to call the police. And I'm kind of like, girl, pump your brakes. Like, you don't need to call the fucking police on these people. They just need to get their lives together. And when I went back downstairs to talk to them, it was a situation where I just started noticing a lot of shit I didn't notice about him. You know what I mean? Because, of course, like, I'm over here like, he's so cute and lovely. But then there's a situation where he doesn't have a phone, but he somehow bought her a phone, and they share a phone. And he's like, give me the phone so I can call my ride. And she's like, no, because I think she knew that if he got a ride, she wasn't going to get the same ride, and she was going to be stuck and have to take the bus in the morning. And so she would not give him the phone. And he starts like dipping out, walking away, and then they go in the front of the house, start yelling and fighting. And I'm just like, please God, let something else happen to me. And eventually they are gone so long that I fall asleep, because I'm like, they must have left. Like, they cannot be outside anymore. They must be gone. And in the middle of the fucking morning, around like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, I get woken up by this nigga talking about, is it okay if we still sleep here? And I'm like, no. Like, yo, I thought y'all was gone. Like, I thought y'all left. Like, what the fuck? Why y'all still here? I was literally mad as the fuck, because I really, like, they woke me up and I was feeling okay. Like, I was like, I know in the morning light I'm gonna have to deal with this with my roommates, but right now I'm okay because I'm by myself in my bed and everything is all right here. And when they came into my house, I was just kind of bugging, because it's like, I was like, didn't I lock the door, bitch? Clearly not. Motherfuckers got back up in. And so they sleeping next to me and shit. And it's like, now it's like she's sleeping in the middle, he's on the outside, and they're like cuddling like fuck. And I just remember like waking up OD early. Like, as soon as my roommate went to work, I got up and I went upstairs and I just like went in her bed and slept. Because I was like, I can't. I was like, I cannot sleep next to them. Like, I'm angry. And then as soon as they woke up, they went upstairs and tried to say bye to me. Actually, they didn't even say goodbye to me. Let me not even lie. They were like, they yelled upstairs, bye, like, see you. And I was like, bye. Like, I don't even know if I yelled back. I feel like I was shady and I didn't say anything. Or I might have just been like, peace or something. But I never featured them after that moment. And they tried to get in contact with me and shit. And I was like, yo, like, nah. Like, they were trying to apologize. And I was like, I'm good. Because really, this was so much. You know? But it was my own fault. Because really, they had problems. You know, but I didn't need to entertain them into my life. And at the end of it all, like, the dick was good, but it wasn't that damn good. It wasn't so good that I would need to be telling my roommate the next day, girl, I'm sorry, and all this other shit, because motherfuckers was yelling and carrying on up in the fucking house. Like, that was fucking embarrassing as hell. So, I don't know, but it was like, just in that moment, I was kind of just like, really? how y'all gonna turn up and have a beef in my house, leave, and then come back hours later talking about something? Can we still sleep here? No.